Jackie Skaer. I'm the laboratory director at Missouri Baptist Medical Center in St. Louis, Missouri. In a large suburban hospital, it's fascinating. It's a larger institution. We get to support a very wide variety of different hospital service lines, from the emergency department, labor and delivery, oncology, cardiothoracic, GI as well. And so with that, we get to see a really wide variety of patients. Sure. So Missouri Baptist is really fortunate to have state-of-the-art technology. In core lab, we use Roche clinical chemistry and immunoassay. Hematology has Sysmex analyzers, and they use Cell-O-Vision, which is really cool because you get to see the cells on your computer screen and you're picking which ones that you want to identify as such. Coagulation, we use Instrument Laboratory. Urinalysis is Beckman. Core Lab also uses front-end automation with Roche. So what that means is you put the specimen on an automation line. It does the specimen receipt part and the centrifugation, and then it actually loads it onto the analyzers as well. And then when the specimen has completed all of its testing that's been ordered, it's stored in a very large refrigerator that we can easily retrieve specimens for add-on testing. Microbiology also has a wide variety of technology. They use front-end plate streaker. There's mass spectrophotometry for organism ID. We use automated susceptibility testing as well. We perform routine bacterial, fungal, AFB cultures. And then, of course, molecular microbiology. We do a lot of COVID testing, other respiratory pathogens such as flu. We do blood culture identification on a molecular instrument. Group B strep, MRSA, HPV, and CT&G testing is all done via molecular testing. And then last, surgical pathology. This includes ThinPrep imaging system for Pap testing, and we have a variety of immunohistochemical and special tissue stains. So COVID testing has been fascinating. There's good and there's bad. With molecular testing especially, it's so sensitive. So we get lots of questions from providers over questioning the results. A patient doesn't have symptoms, but they're testing positive. Why? And we have to help explain, it's detecting that RNA, and it could be a previous infection that we're still picking up that dead virus. They're not currently infected. So that's one of the challenges, is just really, I joke, it's Jackie Skaer's School of COVID testing at your service. I'm here to help you understand how the testing works. So, from that, or it could be, somebody is symptomatic and they test negative, and, the healthcare, the health team is convinced that this patient has COVID. They have all the symptoms. I'm like, well, it could be something with the collection. Let's recollect. Let's try again. And so there's so many different factors that can impact molecular testing that, it's not perfect. No laboratory test is, but you just have to understand all the different variables that can impact a result. Missouri Baptist is a great place to start your career in the laboratory because we touch all those different areas of expertise within clinical laboratory science. So because of our size, we have a lot of the different laboratory disciplines here. So if you're unsure of which area might, really piques your interest most, because really it's also interesting, starting your career here will provide that variety of experience you need to decide which area you might want to hone in on. So we do cross-train the majority of our clinical lab scientists across all areas of our lab. And on top of that, you'll have a really great group of peers and lab leaders who will provide both mentorship and coaching to really propel you to your career goals. So Missouri Baptist Medical Center, it's located in West County, just west of St. Louis. So it's very safe. There's a lot of different businesses, a lot of restaurants, great shopping, a lot of really great neighborhoods around here. That it really is a good place to live. I actually moved to St. Louis. I grew up in Illinois, but St. Louis was kind of like a big hometown to me, and that's how I feel here. I have found that med techs who start out on evenings or nights are really the most resourceful. There's a lot of equipment maintenance that happens on these off shifts because the volumes are lower. So you really get to know that equipment much better and then can therefore troubleshoot better than any day shift employee. My advice to those starting out on that shift would be to really get to know the equipment that you work with. It's kind of crazy to say, but each piece of each machine, even if it's the same machine, they might have different quirks. So they kind of have different personalities and you get to know them and what their quirks are. You know, I really can't, I just can't tout the culture at MOBAP enough. Um, we rely heavily on each other for help. And the thing with the team at Missouri Baptist is oftentimes you don't have to ask for help because somebody's already there seeing what you need help with. We're a large laboratory space. It's all open. So, there's all these different visual audio cues, if the phone's ringing off the hook or there's an alarm sounding on a machine or there's the tube stations dropping tubes like crazy. I mean, you hear and see all those things. So people are really quick to help each other out. Really, we have a really great partnership with our pathology group. If our medical director is top notch. I mean, you can wake her at 2 a.m. and she is happy to talk you through something, whether it's a blood bank question, a weird antibody workup, or somebody needs emergency release and we're having a hard time with something. She's really quick to help with anything 24/7, really. For growth and development, it's something that's near and dear to me as a leader. We gather as much free continuing ed as we can and promote that to our team members. A lot of people do need that continuing education as part of their certificate maintenance. And even the people that don't need it, for those that are kind of grandfathered into it, they still participate in the CE too. Local conferences, virtual conferences, if it's something that we can help support or kind of push people towards, we share those when they're available too. We do have a variety of committees that we have our technologists participate in. One of them, for example, is our regulatory readiness committee. So it's helping us prepare for inspections or really just taking a look at all the different checklist changes and making sure that, what we're doing is in line with our regulatory requirements. So we do have a really nice career ladder as well. We do, we try our hardest to promote from within, and typically we do. So, there's you come in as a medical laboratory scientist, and then we have technical coordinators, supervisors over the different disciplines, laboratory managers, and I can say every member of our leadership team is someone who's been promoted from within. Some advice to a new graduate who's interviewing. Interviews are scary. I was never good at them, but really have a good understanding of what really attracts you to this work. So what is your intrinsic motivation of why you want to work in a clinical laboratory? When you have a good understanding of that, it's going to show up in your interview. And it could be different for people, everyone, we're all here to help others, but what else is it that attracts you to it? Is it the science? Is it the engineering? Is it working together as a big healthcare unit to provide care to our community? Just understand what that is. Missouri Baptist Medical Center is a large community hospital in St. Louis. Provides lots of different opportunities. It's a great place to live, great place to work. We're part of a very large health system, BJC HealthCare. There's opportunities. There's opportunities everywhere here, and there's lots of really great benefits, from tuition assistance to retirement solutions. There's also tuition assistance too. I know several of our team members are going back to school to get a master's degree. And part of that is being paid for by BJC. So I really can't tout the organization enough. I've been here for 15 years. I came here right out of college. I've really never, It's weird to say, I've never looked anywhere else because I've always felt valued. I've always felt appreciated and developed as well.